We are live with the Week 10 edition of the Put It On My Wood Fantasy Hockey Podcast. A little bit late. The Ice Holes had some prior engagements, some media obligations as a defending champ. So he has a lot of media outlets he has to take care of. But he's on the line right now, the three-time champ, defending champ going into this season, the Kiss My Ice Holes.
What's going on, Kamish? Long time no talk.
All right, so we want to start off big victory versus the Stall Tactics, a 59-point outburst. Give us a barometer of your team after starting 0-2-1 to now winning 5 out of your last 7.
Barometer is exactly the same. I mean, you know my philosophy. I'm pretty steady, Freddie. So when I draft my guys, I like them. I knew it was, the slow start. I had that violation, stripped me 11 points week 1. I think I should have won that, or at least tied or something. Yeah, with that one. I think I should have won that week, but the points were there, and I knew the consistency was there, and I was getting it throughout my whole lineup, and it's just a matter of time before those things work out. So I didn't want to make any panic moves or push it. I like where my team was at. I drafted them, even though they stumbled out the gate. Still like them just as much as I liked them when I drafted them today.
All right, Kiss My Ice Holes. This is part of a phrase that I usually don't get to comment on or tell somebody over the airwaves, but in the 58 combined years of fantasy hockey, NASCAR, and football, I personally, as a commissioner and as a GM of several leagues, I've never seen a GM finish the season with a 500 or better regular season record for 10 consecutive seasons. At this time, you have a chance to duplicate that with a victory this week, which will put you at 6-4-1, guaranteeing you at least a 500 or better record. Explain to anybody listening, which this will eventually go onto YouTube for the whole world, to any random person wants to improve themselves as a fantasy GM, how does somebody go 10 straight seasons without a losing season? Can you go into a little bit into detail? You've been in this league 9 to 10 years. Just give us a little idea of what that represents in the 58 years I've been doing. I've never seen this ever. It's incredible.
I'll tell you first and foremost what it represents. A ton of luck. That's what it represents. More than anything else, just a ton of luck. And if I'm not mistaken, somebody's not too far behind me. Someone's got a nice little stretch to their own.
I know that, but then. All right, little technical difficulties. We're going to get Dan back on the line. So please bear with me as we get the champ back on the line. So he will be back on and answer that significant question. So hold on for a second.
Hey, buddy, that's probably me. I got terrible service.
No, that was me. The phone fell down. So please, I'm still recording. So please explain to the YouTube hockey fantasy world how, I know it's luck, but 10 straight years of luck? It's got to be more than that.
I do love the game. You know, hockey's my favorite sport. Always has been ever since I had my Ty Domi jersey back in '92, I think it was, with the Rangers. So it was always my number one, and I always watch it. And I was always a hockey fan more than anything else. I love playing it. I love watching it. Love going to the games. So I think more than anything else, that's it. You know, I really follow it and I watch it. I know these people. I know the teams. I know where the pendulum is swinging, whether it's going north or south, and who's up and coming, and who's got good power play units, and who I feel strong about, and I've just been lucky too. That's the other part, is you can know what you're looking at and know who you're drafting and who you like, and always susceptible to injuries. It's such a tough sport. So, like I said, I still stand by my statement. It's
Okay, that explains it. I definitely would agree with that myself as I apply that same principles, but this is not about me. This is about the ice holes. All right, so right now you have a 17-6 lead as we're in the middle of the week against a key divisional matchup in the Patrick division. He's beaten you twice, the Pothman's Cups. He has a very strong team. So, what do you think so far? You're a half game back. He's beaten you twice, like I said. This is for the Patrick Division lead. There's only 2-3 games left, so this is a very key matchup.
It is. He's got a pretty awesome team, but he can't win them all. I was going to win one by accident, so I'm running with that. And I just need a couple of other people, including the commissioner himself, to hold up his end of the bargain and be in good shape.
All right, so
stay healthy.
So you got a roster of all-stars on your team. Tavares, Zibanejad, Kucherov, who's a little banged up, Marner, Taylor Hall, Vasilevsky, just to name a few players on your team. Well, this team is stacked like IHOP pancakes on a Sunday morning. You gotta like this team. I mean, this team. What I'm trying to say, do you think this team is better than last year's championship team?
I really like all my teams, to be honest. When I draft them, I always feel like they're the best team every year when I draft them. But yeah, it's a strong club, man. I feel really good about it. And I like my. It's not like one player carrying the whole team on their shoulders. It's D-man pinching in and goalies being nice and steady and a couple power play goals here and there, and it's real nice and steady and after round. Not a lot of donuts every week.
All right.
Not the lineup. Everybody's pitching in, but like I said, it's always better to be lucky than good. So I just hope everybody stays healthy and continues to do what they expected to do, what they get paid handsomely to do.
All right. Vasilevsky, number 1 ranked goalie in our hockey league, number 1 in goalie points. I don't think he's lost in almost 16 or 18 games right now.
An incredible stretch right now.
You've always been in the top 2 in goalie points. You're going up against your opponent who's also very good in goalie drafting. He makes good goalie moves. He picked up Rask off an injury reserve move. Some other GM dropped him. He needed a win. He picked up Price. So if you do win this week, you do clinch a spot if Will and Jen Stall Tactics lose. So you do pretty much clinch a spot if you win this week. What are your thoughts about making the playoffs again for probably the 9th time in 10 seasons? What are your thoughts about just moving forward with your team?
Well, like I said, I just hope everybody stays healthy. I like my team, and there's nothing. I mean, not trying to put anybody else's team down, but I feel comfortable going up against anybody. But that's not, like I said, I'm not trying to play anybody else down. Just how comfortable I am with my team. I just hope they stay healthy. And if they do, I got a good shot for the 4th one. And if I have the 4th one, then I'm only one away from all 5 fingers, which will be a full fist. I don't know if anybody's ever fisted the league before, so.
That is true, and as you know, it's very hard to repeat in this league. No GM has ever repeated in the history of this league 9 seasons in. So you have an opportunity if you make the playoffs, which looks like it's trending. A repeat title could be in the mix.
I like my shot. As long as everybody stays healthy, but like I've always said, it's better to be lucky than good.
All right,
they're healthy and I get lucky.
This part of the show, the parting shots of the Put It On My Wood Fantasy Hockey Podcast Week 10 review with the 3-time champ, Kiss My Ice Holes. You have anything to say to the league? Anybody that's probably listening in, taking notes, grabbing a pen? What do you got to say?
I have to say, like I have in the past many times, to thank everybody in the league from the bottom of my heart, because it wouldn't be so easy being this good if it wasn't for everybody being that terrible. So, thank you.
You're so bad. All right, hey, that's what it's about. You get score the most points on this on the in the league in a week. You get to trash talk and say whatever you want. All right, Icehold, sorry about the technical difficulties earlier, but we appreciate you taking time out on this show in the midweek. Enjoy the NBC game on tonight, Canadians Bruins, and we thank you for joining us once again. First time.
Dave, take care of business. Positive sucks. Come get some. Good luck for the rest of the year, buddy.
All right.